Hello beer tubers and welcome to the annual The Master of Hoppets Top 10 Best Beers video. We do this every year. We will go through 10 of our favorite beers, or well, my favorite, but often it tends to be Brett and the guys' favorites too, of the year. 2021 has been a pretty crazy year for beer for us on the channel. We had so many dope hype releases this year, which was crazy. We really started chasing hype again. And I haven't done that in a few years, but it's been fun. I think we'll dial back a little bit next year. We'll see. I mean, when you get into the swing of things again and get all these crazy releases, it is quite fun. And a lot of it is really worth it. So there is going to be quite a few very highly acclaimed beers on this list this year. So we're doing the top 10 in the end of the video. Before that, we're going to go through some runner-ups that I thought really deserved a mention. And then this year, we're also going to go through a couple of breweries that I really want to mention as well. So first off, of the list of runner-ups, we got Omnipollo, Moxa, and Bottle Logic's collab called Carême. This was a fantastic pastry stout. This was one of the first forays Omnipollo did into making these really, really rich and dense pastry stouts with real ingredients, or one of them. They've done a few. Andromeda was one of them too, but that was outstanding. Next beer is Treehouse King Julius. Previous one I gave a 97. This one I gave a 97 as well. World class haze. You know, it was a must tick. It was a must try. I loved it. It was not a 100 beer, which it is for a lot of people, but it was phenomenal. So we're just going to smash them all up here. But Slice Brewing and their Hippie Cabbage, which was one of the best triple IPAs I had this year, along with their Wowie Nugs collab with Ultimate Aleworks and Kind Buds. Those all got 96s. It was, well, West Coast double, triple, and single IPAs. Fantastic West Coast, this new school West Coast style that Slice is really nailing. They were fantastic. And next breweries, Bottle Logic and Toppling Goliath collab, The Fall of Umibozu. Now, all the beers on the top 10 list at least got a 97 this year. This one actually got a 98, but it's not on the top 10 because Toppling Goliath is already on the list, and so is Bottle Logic. So I didn't want to add this one as well with a similar grade, so I just had to exchange a bit here. Then we got, and also bear in mind, all these are beers that I had in actual reviews. There's loads of stuff that's amazing we had on draft, and for example MBCC, but those beers are not included on this list. This is from actual reviews. But then we got WeldWorks Old El Medianoche, a little brother to BBT almost. Such a big depth of barrel character, that crazy intense base beer with that like chocolate covered espresso bean flavor and loads of dripping bourbon barrel character. A fantastic beer. Then we got some lambic. We got Cantillon Vigneron, the 2018 variant. That's one of the best fruited lambics I had this year that aged gracefully, and I've been lucky enough to get a second bottle that's sitting in the cellar right now that I might crack next year. Maybe pair it with a fresh bottle again, or do 3 different, vintages just to see how it compares. And then we got also another lambic we got from Drie Fonteinen. This is their Spelling Van Hit Lot series, and this is the Schabeekse on a Toast. That was probably the best Drie Fonteinen beer I had last year. We've got some really cool stuff from these guys coming next year, amongst others some, what's it called? the sherry wine barrel aged one. Chêne, goddammit, Chêne y Frontera. Fantastic stuff. We got that coming next year. Then something I really kind of wanted to put on the top 10, but it just didn't make the cut, is Riegles Augsburger Herrenpils. That's probably the best Pilsner I had all year last year. I love that beer to death. I've had it since multiple times, and I need more of that in my life. That was world-class German Pilsner. And speaking of world-class German Pilsner, another one on the list here is Schönraumer Pils. That's also a beer that really deserves a mention, because those are some standout examples of German Pilsners. Then also Winogradsky and their 11. That is also a fantastic Czech Pilsner. So we do got some Pilsners here. And a beer that almost made it to the list as well. Barreled Souls Buffalo Trace Bourbon Big Monroe Scotch Ale. That was a fantastic, lightly smoky and really rich Scotch Ale. It got a 97. It could have made the cut, but there were some other beers I wanted to include instead. And then we got Electric and their Incantational Thoughts. It's a triple hazy IPA. It was mind-blowingly awesome. It was world class. And, you know, it was one of these big, bright, tropical New England IPAs with loads of hop flavor. And that was definitely something I thought should be on the runner-up list, just because this year, again, I've reviewed a lot of hazies, but there's not a lot that's gotten in the 98, 97 range. Actually, we've been a bit more scarce this year with these kind of ratings. And then we got Goose Island Bourbon County Brand Stout Anniversary Edition. This one was also amazing. I had this with Pliny. It's one of the better Bourbon County variants I've had in recent times. The birthday was also amazing, but I just preferred this a notch more. And, you know, that was just also another world-class barrel-aged beer. And then finally, we got another hazy IPA. This is from 8-Bit Brewing, and this is their Midnight Spectre. We had it just towards the end of the year with Michael. It was just a fantastic hazy triple IPA that really kind of opened my eyes even more for 8-Bit as a brewery. So these are the beers I had as runner-ups. You know, some may agree, some people may not agree. They're all going to be in a list down below, along with the top 10 as well, and also these breweries. So there's numerous new breweries coming out all the time. There's numerous new breweries you discover and check out beer from, and even old ones you go back to. And this year there's been quite a few that I've revisited over the years, or over the year of 2021, that I really, really got excited about trying. So let's just start with the first one I wrote down here, which is Trek over in the UK. Trek is just making some of the best hazy beer in the EU right now, also in the UK. They've started with the Gold Top series, doing beers that are very similar to the like West Coast interpretation of hazy beers, which is what I really, really love and adore. I really like these hop-centric beers that are not too sweet and overripe. And therefore, I know like brewers like Overtone and also Rivington and whatnot is getting loads of traction at the moment. But I really like the approach Trek has taken with making beers like this. They also do the super, you know, yeast-forward stuff, but I love that they're doing that. Then Liquid Gravity from America. Liquid Gravity is just, I've only had a handful of beer from them, but what I've had, I loved. And it's a brewery I think it's going to go places for sure, and a brewery I want to see and maybe try more from next year, because they make amazing West Coast IPAs. They're doing this kind of new school approach, and, you know, it just works. Like, just their regular year-round release IPA was awesome. And they're from San Luis Obispo, so, you know, I have family living there. It should be easy for me to get some, but yeah, I thought that was, you know, a fantastic brewery. And another brewery that I reacquainted myself with this year and tried some beer from was Cellar Maker. We only reviewed one beer, I think, or two, something like that, maybe three from the brewery, and they were awesome. They do both hazies, they do West Coast IPAs, they do all kinds of stuff. What they're most famous for is also West Coast beers, but, you know, they were just dead on. And the stuff we had for our 4th of July party when we had it real fresh was just so amazing. Like, really, really good. And I think that's a brewery I kind of want to revisit more as well, because they're just great. You know, we just need to spread more love for the West Coast, because there's so many West Coast brewers that are doing, you know, also hazies, but also just fantastic West Coast IPAs. And looking into, you know, treating the West Coast style the way you're treating New England IPA in terms of hopping, which is awesome. Then we got Hop Butcher for the World, also from America. Again, they have this more bright, very tropical style, which I really like for a hazy IPA. They've been exporting beer to Europe, and what we've gotten here so far has been really, really good. That's a brewery I also kind of want to follow next year, because, yeah, it's been really good. Then another brewery, which we acquainted ourselves with for the first time this year, was Suarez Family Brewery, or Suarez Family Brewers. And they made some really awesome, soft, farmhouse-esque inspired lagers. And they were just fantastic. Like, they, you know, I don't think they were as top tier as maybe some other brewers, but it really, or brewers maybe, you know, if we say Hill Farmstead or whatnot, in terms of lagers. But it's a new brewery to me, and one that really piqued my interest. Like, I just wanted to check out more. It's like, if I get the opportunity, I really want to try more from these guys. Especially also, I've seen, like, they've done Rauchbier. It's one of the styles I've really, like, I've always been excited about Rauchbier, but it's a style that I've gotten more and more back into over the course of this year. And it's, you know, Rauchbier is one of my favorite styles. Then we got there's a lot of West Coast breweries on the list. We got North Park Beer Company. Man, seriously. Joe and I did some videos. We did a live stream, or we did some videos. He's done videos on North Park. I've done videos on North Park. We did a live stream where we tried some both local beer to me and local beer to him. We sent each other a box, which was awesome. He got some Danish beer. I got some awesome fresh San Diegan beer, and some of it was North Park beer, and one of them was Hop Foo, and I was like, what? This is so crazy good. And since then, he's sent a few, and like they've just been doing awesome beers, everything from hazies to cool modern interpretation of American pale lagers with modern hops, and then West Coast beers. And that's a brewery I really think you should watch for as well. They did a podcast as well not too long ago, was a Beer and Brewers podcast. Is that what it's called? I can't remember. But it was really good. It's a brewery that's definitely also one you should look out for, especially if you love West Coast beers. And then we got a Danish brewery, actually the only Danish brewery on the list, but an up-and-coming brewery at that, and a nano brewery. It's Hops and Haze Brewing. Hops and Haze is a tiny, tiny, tiny operation here in Denmark. Kim is running it, and you can really see that he's getting to geek out a lot over beer at the moment. He's got, he's brewing on, I think it's Grainfathers or something like that, and he's pushing out loads of different styles and playing around with loads of different things. He's most well known for doing hazy beers, but what I've had has been just, it's been really good. There's nothing that's been world-class to me, but that being said, you don't start with making world-class beer. You just get better and better. And I'm looking forward to follow Hops and Haze journey, because so far it's been some really tasty beers. And that's definitely a brewery, at least if you're located in Denmark, you should keep an eye out for in the coming year, because I don't think we'll see anything outside of Denmark anytime soon. And another also Danish brewery I'm just thinking of course, I also need to mention on the list, even though I didn't write it down, it's local to me, Why Not Brewing. Nikolai, who runs our local beer bar here in Aalborg, Denmark, Basement Beer Bar, has a little side hustle with a small brewing project called Why Not Brewing, where he brews beer for the bar, and he's just doing amazing stouts and IPAs. Some of the best in the country, I think. So it's very small production. There's going to be some coming out, but that's also a brewery that for sure needs to mention that I can't fathom that I didn't think of to mention in this video. We reviewed some. So, but yeah, I think I'll put some links for all these breweries, pages and whatnot in the bottom of the video. Then up next is another brewery that's making lagers and really doing it well, is Vinohradský pivovar in the Czech Republic. That was an eye-opener for me this year that really opened my eyes for Czech-style lagers. I've been mostly into German style, but like that, they just kind of bursted the idea, or just took down the idea in my mind that Czech lagers always have to be buttery. Because that's like, what I know from textbook examples, like Pilsner Urquell, which is crazy buttery. Then I had, like the 11, the 12, I had the wet hop pills, and they were just amazing beers. Like, it really made me want to drink more Czech lager. So that's the reason why they're also on here. Then a German brewery that really opened my eyes, or just one I've been really intrigued by, is Gensteller Braumanufaktur. Gensteller has been making some really nice beers. They've made a very big mix of styles. They've done both wheat beers and pilsners and Bock beers. Rauch beers as, classic German beers, but they even did like a crazy beefy, rich imperial stout that was crazy old school, but it was so good. I know the brewery has had some issues. There's been some ups and downs in terms of can quality on the cans they've been putting out, but what I've had has pretty much mostly been fantastic. So I think they deserve a mention too. And then that was a German brewery. Then we got another American brewery, Slice. I can't help but talk about Slice because I've been reviewing quite a lot of their stuff over the year. Joe sent me a lot of stuff from them, and they've just been nailing this new school West Coast style. I've really been so excited about these huge dank tanks they're producing. Super dank West Coast IPAs with super fruity hop flavors. Not loads of these earthy, resiny, old school flavors. A lot of it is like this really new school stuff. And that's, why I've been really intrigued by them. And I think it'll be really fun to follow this brewery. They're only 2 years old, just to see what's going to happen and see them evolve and get better. They also do great, hazy IPAs, which is what I've mainly had besides... West Coasters from them, but I think they do the West Coast a bit better, but just because, they're just doing it in a very cool way that I really love. They do a lot of world-class West Coast stuff at that brewery. Then in Sweden, we got Nerd Brewing. Nerd Brewing is really doing well in terms of barrel production and barrel-aged beer production in Scandinavia. It's probably one of the best at the moment. It's crazy. They're just churning out, or Hannes is churning out loads of barrel-aged beer at the moment, which is fantastic in the whole barrel series. It's one of the things I talked about back in the day with nerd brewing I'd love to see, and he's really doing it now. And the big focus in Scandinavia is still a lot on hazy IPAs and super or heavily fruited kettle sours and things like that. Like there are some breweries producing barrel aged beers, but one that's really giving it so much focus is Nerd Brewing, and I think they're doing one of the better ones at the moment. Then another brewery I kind of want to just revisit more is The Alchemist. I was lucky enough to try really fresh Rapture, Heady Topper, and Focal Banger this year. And that just, Focal Banger just set it in stone. Like, that could be a desert island perfect IPA for me. It was so good. So good, and really, that fresh. Man, I love that beer. And that just really opened my eyes to just wanting to drink more Alchemist again, and just exploring this kind of more old school interpretation of hazy IPA that's not necessarily crazy juicy and also has some bitterness. So that's also a brewery that, that I want to put on the list because I want to drink more Alchemist in the coming year. Then another brewery, actually a German brewery, and that really also, surprised me, was Private Landbrauerei Schönram. Their Pilsner was amazing. I did a series of Pilsners where I got some Pilsners sent from Germany that were very high class and high quality, and this was one of them. A more peppery and drier German Pils, not as fruity as I prefer, even though it had some fruitiness, but that was just amazing. So that really also made me want to try more from these guys. And then another German brewery, there's actually quite a few German breweries on here, but another German brewery I've been, drinking a lot of this year and I want to drink more of next year is Brauerei Heller, aka the producer of Eschenkerler Rauchbier. I think they still have that world-class stamp as doing the best Rauchbier in the world, and I haven't had anything that's come that close yet, besides the Gensteller one, but when I did it blind, there was no competition. It was still Schlenkerla being king. So it's a brewery that's not maybe doing so many new and different beers, but they've been doing these unfiltered beers. I hope we'll maybe see some more barrel-aged stuff, because they did that a few years ago, which I unfortunately missed out on. But next year, I really want to check out more of their stuff, especially some of these unfiltered beers. And also, a beer you had to mention with this is the unfiltered Helles they did, which was just amazing stuff. That should pretty much also be on the runner-up list. And then we got Electric Brewing, which I already mentioned in the runner-up list. Just a brewery that's producing fantastic hazy IPAs over in California. I don't want to go too much into it because we already did in the runner-ups list. And then there's probably a few hazy breweries you guys would imagine that I'd mention on this, but we're not going to because they're in the top 10. And there's a few breweries that's already in the top 10, so it makes sense. I want to drink more from these breweries. And then we got another German one, Riegele Biermanufaktur. A fantastic classic brewery. I've had their Herrenpils as the only beer, and it blew my mind. It's probably my favorite Pilsner of the year. As I said when I talked about it, and Schönrammer in the little runner-ups. So I want to check out more of their stuff. I think they're probably nailing most of the classical beers they're doing. And then we got Weltworks. Weltworks, again, they were also on the runner-ups. Fantastic brewery. They're making crazy great stouts. Their barrel program, it's insane. I just want to drink more of their stuff. And then a brewery I really, really want to dive into more in the coming year is Forager. Forager Brewery in the US, they're making crazy barrel-aged beers. I think, I got into them trying their beer at MBCC, and, I just want to try more because their stuff was just crazy. I think it was, on par with the best of the best barrel-aged beer in the world. But not just that, they also nailed different types of hazy beers and, farmhouse ales and things like that. And they even have the side project, it's called Humble Forager, which we can get in Europe, which is, also really nice. More pastry and crazy and whatnot, but like what I really enjoyed was mostly the Forager stuff, which I had at NBCC. And yeah, I just want to try more. And there's going to be a couple of reviews coming soon in the new year. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, this has been a long video already, and we're going to have a cavalcade of the top 10 best coming after this. So sorry for that. Hope you guys are going to stay tuned. But thanks a ton for a great year on the channel. It's been really fun. Stay tuned for another great year in 2022. Hopefully with less restrictions. There's definitely going to be some traveling, not Japan, but we have a trip to France and Belgium coming up. And Belgium, I need to go drink some lambic. So... but that's not until the summer. But maybe more trips. We'll see what's going to happen. I'm sure excited about a new year in the world of beer, and also just in my brewing career myself, now working with barrel aging and all kinds of stuff. It's going to be great fun. So yeah, here we go, guys. The top 10 best beers I had in 2021. Hope you guys can get to try these somehow, if they're rebrewed, or some of them are brewed once a year and whatnot. So I definitely urge you guys to try and seek these out, because these were some amazing beers. So cheers in nothing, and have a safe New Year's, and see you guys in 2022. Cheers. Ooh, that is so intense on flavor. Yeah. Like, it's supercharged West Coast IPA, but what I love, it's not crazy sweet. Oh. I think Joe said he felt like it was a little bit sweeter than last year, and it's definitely sweeter than regular Piney. But it kind of reminds me of drinking something like Alpine Exponential Hoppiness or something like that. Maybe that one was a bit more hop saturated than this, but yeah, it's the same ballpark, because this, I think, is so supercharged with like orange and sweet citrus and tangerine and stuff like this. Yeah. And then just loads of pith. Yeah. Boy. What amazing Nelson flavor. Wow.
Yeah. And again, it's so drinkable. It's so impactful, but it's so drinkable. Like, yeah.
But this also shows why Nelson is better with friends. Yeah. Because Citra really helps it of being not too bright. Wham! Boom! Oh! Moonlight Generator was dope. This is insanity if you love Nelson. Wow, that's good. Man, this was exactly what I hoped for in Vegan and Butcher. That's one rich motherfucker. Ooh, coffee's definitely there on the flavor.
Oh, man.
Wow. Oh, it's much more balanced than I expected, actually.
It's not crazy sweet.
And I think that might be the thing
sweet,
with...
but
it's sweet.
It's not Anchorage crazy. Sweet. No.
I feel like it has more like Barrett's Spirit vibes than Anchorage beers does, because there's a huge warming bourbon flavor.
I love it.
Down. Yeah, me too. Because it really cuts all that sweet fudginess.
Yeah.
That is fucking awesome.
Just nice, like almost like, as I said, like rye whiskey spice throughout, more than actual like cinnamon.
Man, it drinks amazingly well.
Oh fuck, that's so...
Fuck, that is so well balanced for almost 13% beer.
I didn't expect it to be this good.
No, not from the flavor.
The aroma was pretty good, but the taste is really damn good.
The aroma is a bit more muted, but I think that's just because of a little bit of oxidation, but it's still got the same kind of huge pop of flavor as a fresh bottle would have. It is so much like a stout version of Paragon. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I kind of expected it from the aroma.
But I think I expected it to be a little less sweet from the aroma. But fuck this.
But it has the same kind of sweetness. But it's just like a stouty, extra stouty base to it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
Yeah.
How is this like... Wow.
Fuck, that's so good.
It's much more spirity and warmth like compared to a BBT.
Yeah.
It's not as thick and not as deep and dense. But it's fucking great. Yeah. World-class barrel-aged stout.
Yeah.
It's very Bourbon County-like. Oh, wow, there's a lot of vanilla. Huge bourbon.
Oh,
damn.
Crazy.
Like it really, we just had Maman a week ago. Brett and I. It tasted so much like that. Maybe not exactly, it tastes so much like that just with vanilla.
Yeah.
Huge, rich, fudgy barrel character.
And some roast.
Yeah.
Roast, like dark chocolate, bitter dark chocolate. I'm also picking up.
Fuck, that's good. That is so rich on barrel. It's not the same hefty chocolate fudge bomb. It's huge bourbon bomb.
Yeah. So much barrel complexity.
It's so much like Bourbon County, but just a bit richer and fuller.
Yeah.
There's so much vanilla and tobacco and char. It's crazy drinkable too.
Yeah.
That is fucking
Really
amazing.
fucking good.
It is so intense and popping. It's sweet though. It is.
But it is more popping than
But it's not
Paragon
cloying.
from 18.
100%.
Yeah.
It's so fudgy. Like it's like so caramelly and caramel sauce. Like with just an amazing bourbon. I want another bottle of this.
Yeah.
We can get it locally. It's expensive. But I'm
Again,
gonna get
this,
another.
like-
Wow. Holy fuck. Holy titfuck.
Yeah, that is just
That is
monstrous.
so massive.
And it keeps on.
It is almost as if you did bourbon in a beer form, to be 100% honest.
Bourbon barley wine match.
Holy shit. What an aftertaste.
Yeah, it's still going. I was just about, I was thinking, let's have a sip more. No, it's still going. So
Huge, like warming bourbon, like
and caramel and
huge fudgy, like
Yeah.
man, it really bridges the gap between the spirit and like barley wine.
yeah.
It's crazy. I don't think I've ever had a beer that's this bourbon and like intense on bourbon flavor.
Nope.
Wow. Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
This almost brings tears to my eyes. Wow.
There.
Yeah.
I am 100% not disappointed. I am 100% stoked. I'm just trying to cope with everything right now.
Damn.
This is the perfect marriage between old school barrel aged beer and new school like heft of beer. This is the perfect marriage of old and new. Perfect marriage of old and
So
new.
intense. So intense bourbon flavor.
Wow.
And dark coffee, roasty notes.
and brownies.
Tobacco.
Like
Yeah.
So 100s across the board. We're starting off 2021 strong. Man, this was dope. So if you guys had a chance already to try Side Project Beer Barrel Time, any vintage, let us know what you thought of it. If not, try and get yourself some. It is fucking worth it. You have our word. So, as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And we're gonna say cheers and just fabulous, fabulous, fabulous beer. I'm so stoked we got to try
cheers,
this.
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers, and see you guys in another beer review. Oh, man.
Hold kæft.
Nej, det er vanvittigt.
Hold kæft. Det
Det
smager
er
godt.
sindssygt, det der. Fuck, det er sindssygt.